The definitive buyer's guide to the Jaguar V12 XJS, Navigating the Grand Tourer Legend, Introduction. The Grand Tourer legend, the Jaguar XJS, introduced in 1975, faced the formidable task of succeeding the iconic E-Type. Instead of a direct sports car replacement, the XJS carved its own distinct niche as a luxurious and high-performance Grand Tourer. Its remarkably long production run, spanning from 1975 to 1996, stands as a testament to its enduring appeal and its ability to adapt over 2 decades. At its core, the XJS embodied Jaguar's unwavering commitment to luxury, refinement, and advanced engineering, particularly highlighted by its V12 engine. This engine was a rare sight in mass-produced vehicles of the era, underscoring the XJS's unique position. It evolved to become a quintessential symbol of 1970s and 80s automotive luxury and performance. Despite its ultimate success, the XJS faced a controversial initial reception. Its departure from the E-Type's beloved styling and, perhaps more critically, the timing of its V12 launch amidst the 1970s oil crisis, made it a challenging sell. However, it eventually solidified its place as a highly desirable classic. The initial market's undervaluation, driven by factors such as its controversial styling and the economic climate of the 1970s, meant the XJS was historically perceived as less desirable than its predecessor, the E-Type. This historical context, where the XJS was often considered a cheap Jag, has evolved. The vehicle's inherent engineering and luxury are now increasingly recognized. This shift in perception implies that the XJS V12 can represent a superior value proposition compared to other V12-powered classics, such as certain Ferrari models, or even the E-Type itself. A discerning buyer who understands the car's intrinsic merits, rather than focusing on its initial market struggles, can potentially acquire a highly capable and luxurious Grand Tourer at a relatively accessible price point. The key for such an acquisition is to find a vehicle that has been diligently maintained, thereby overcoming the common issue of neglect often associated with older vehicles, as its inherent value is now being fully appreciated. The XJS's distinctive design, most notably its iconic flying buttresses, was not merely stylistic. It was deeply rooted in the pursuit of aerodynamic efficiency and the creation of an exceptionally comfortable grand touring experience. The design prioritized long-distance comfort and high-speed stability, intentionally diverging from the raw agility of a pure sports car. Throughout its production, the XJS underwent subtle yet significant design refinements. The most notable changes arrived with the facelift models from 1991 onwards, which aimed to modernize its aesthetic and incorporate improvements in overall build quality. This continuous evolution reflected both shifting automotive design trends and Jaguar's persistent efforts to refine their flagship Grand Tourer. A deep dive into its lineage, the V12 engine's genesis. The Jaguar V12 engine, a remarkable piece of British engineering, initially saw life in the experimental XJ13 race car prototype before being adapted for road car applications. This direct racing pedigree endowed the V12 with inherent robustness and durability, making it totally unstressed in the less demanding environment of an everyday road car. Its design was optimized for unparalleled smoothness and effortless power delivery, defining the XJS as a vehicle propelled by silky smooth power unit and an ideal fast smooth cruiser. The engine's capability to rev to high speeds, 5.3 litre to 6,500 revolutions per minute, 6 litre to 6,000 revolutions per minute, further highlights its robust construction and long-term reliability when cared for. A practical consideration for owners is that the V12 engine requires a substantial quantity of oil, typically over 10 litres, for an oil change. The inclusion of an oil cooler as standard further contributed to its longevity and minimized oil contamination. XJS unveiling and initial reception. As previously noted, the XJS faced a challenging debut upon its 1975 unveiling. Its styling, a significant departure from the universally adored E-Type, coupled with the prevailing global oil crisis, made a large, thirsty V12 engine seem anachronistic to many. Despite these headwinds, Jaguar proudly positioned the XJS HE as the world's fastest automatic transmission production car. Evolution through the years. Key V12 model changes. The XJS V12 underwent several key evolutions throughout its production, each bringing distinct characteristics and addressing various aspects of performance, efficiency, and reliability. Pre-HE, 1975-1981, these early models featured the original 5.3-litre V12 engine. While mechanically robust, they are generally known for higher fuel consumption and more basic electronic systems compared to later iterations. HE, high efficiency, 1981 to 1992, the introduction of the HE, high efficiency, version of the 5.3-litre V12 in 1981 marked a significant shift, primarily focusing on improving fuel economy. Jaguar aimed to push consumption into the psychologically important 20 meters p.g. bracket through redesigned fireball cylinder heads. This resulted in higher compression ratios, e.g., US spec 5.3-litre HE at 11.5:1, yielding compression test readings of 200 to 220 psi, significantly higher than the 130 to 150 psi of pre-HE models. Ignition systems evolved during this period. Early HE models often utilized the Lucas Opus system, while later HE models, from 1988, continuing for 5.3-litre until 1993, transitioned to the Morelli ignition system. The Morelli system, despite its sophistication, is infamous for a critical failure mode. The rotor can arc through its center to the distributor shaft, causing a complete loss of ignition on one engine bank. This is particularly dangerous as the fuel injection system continues to supply fuel to the unignited bank, leading to unburnt fuel entering and potentially igniting in the catalytic converter, posing a severe fire risk. A widely recommended, simple preventative fix involves applying silicone sealant to the rotor. For any prospective buyer considering an XJS V12 equipped with the Morelli system, a meticulous pre-purchase inspection must include verifying the condition of the distributor cap and rotor, and confirming that this critical sealant application has been performed. This check is paramount for safety and should be considered a non-negotiable aspect of the evaluation. 6-litre, 1993 to 1996, the final and most refined evolution of the XJS V12 saw the engine capacity increased to 6 litres, delivering enhanced power and torque. These models are widely considered the best of the lot, due to numerous improvements that addressed common issues of earlier versions. A key upgrade was the adoption of the more robust and efficient GM4L80 4-speed automatic transmission, which included an overdrive gear, further improving fuel economy and cruising refinement. They also featured conventional outboard rear brakes, a significant improvement that simplified maintenance compared to the notoriously complex earlier inboard setups. Electronic issues are generally less prevalent in these facelifted cars, though a comprehensive check of all buttons, gauges, and switches remains advisable. Some very late 6-litre models might even feature a Ford distributorless ignition system, further boosting reliability. Crucially, from 1991 onwards, the XJS body shells were galvanized, which substantially reduced their susceptibility to corrosion compared to their predecessors. The V12 engine's inherent robustness and longevity are frequently cited, provided it receives consistent and proper maintenance. However, a common reality with these vehicles is that most of these cars are neglected, and many older cars have many missed services, giving the new owner quite a lot to do. The V12's legendary durability inadvertently allowed previous owners to defer maintenance without immediate, catastrophic failure. This created a backlog of necessary repairs and preventative work that accumulates over years of neglect. A seemingly robust engine can, therefore, conceal underlying degradation in ancillary components such as hoses, seals, and electrical wiring, which tend to deteriorate with age rather than solely mileage. This means a car that appears robust might be on the verge of multiple failures in its ancillary systems. Consequently, prospective buyers should prioritize vehicles with comprehensive, verifiable service histories, even if they have higher mileage, over low-mileage examples that may have suffered from prolonged inactivity and the deterioration of soft parts. The initial investment in a well-maintained vehicle is often more financially prudent than attempting to rectify years of accumulated neglect on a less expensive, unserviced car. The philosophy of restoring systems, not just parts, is paramount for the XJS V12. Given the intricate packaging of components within the engine bay and the inherent difficulty of access, the labor costs associated with any repair can be substantial. If one component within a system, such as a hose in the cooling system, fails due to age, it is highly probable that other components within that same system are nearing the end of their service life. Therefore, replacing all related components, e.g., radiator, water pump, thermostat, and all hoses for the cooling system, in a single service event is more efficient. This proactive strategy prevents recurring failures that would necessitate repeated, costly access to the same complex areas, ultimately providing greater long-term reliability and a more predictable ownership experience. XJS Cabriolet, introduced in 1983, this Targa-style convertible featured a removable roof section over the front seats, while retaining the fixed rear buttresses. Full convertible, launched in 1988, this provided a true open-top driving experience and quickly became a highly sought-after and desirable variant. Interior and luxury enhancements. By model year, the XJS interior evolved over its lifespan, transitioning from the more traditional, wood and leather-heavy British luxury aesthetic of the 1970s to more modern, ergonomically refined designs in later models. Luxury enhancements included improved seating, updated infotainment systems, and more effective climate control. Potential buyers should be vigilant for signs of interior water leaks, such as damp carpets, especially around the center console and door panels, as these can occur through exterior mirrors or clogged AC drains. Such leaks can lead to corrosion of seatbelt mountings and damage to critical wiring. Electric window motors are also a known point of failure. Racing pedigree, Tour and Le Mans victories. The XJS significantly bolstered its motorsport credentials through its association with Tom Walkinshaw Racing, Tour. This partnership led to considerable success in touring car championships and, most notably, contributed to Jaguar's overall triumph at the 24 Hours of Le Mans with V12-powered prototypes. This illustrious racing heritage serves as a powerful testament to the V12 engine's inherent strength, durability, and advanced engineering prowess. Performance and specifications. Engine variants, 5.3-litre versus 6-litre V12. The Jaguar XJS was powered by two primary V12 engine variants, 5.3-litre V12, pre-HE and HE. This engine is renowned for its exceptional smoothness and turbine-like power delivery, providing a truly refined driving experience. The later HE, high-efficiency, version brought significant advancements in fuel economy and overall efficiency. Both variants are inherently robust and capable of immense longevity, provided they receive consistent and proper maintenance. A key maintenance detail for these engines is the specific spark plug gaps. Pre-HE models typically require a 35 thou gap, while HE models use a tighter 25 thou gap. 6-litre V12, introduced in 1993, this enlarged V12 engine delivered increased power and torque, contributing to the perception of the later XJS models as the most resolved of the lot. It retained the version 12's signature smoothness and impressive durability, making it a highly desirable engine choice. Transmission choices and characteristics. The XJS V12 models predominantly utilized automatic transmissions. Early models were equipped with the GMTH 400 3-speed automatic, a well-regarded and durable unit for its time, though less efficient by modern standards. Later 6-litre models, from 1993 onwards, benefited from the more advanced GM4L80E 4-speed automatic transmission, which included an overdrive gear. This significantly improved fuel economy and enhanced cruising refinement. The 4L80E is described as super durable, making it a highly reliable component. Transmission issues can manifest as a knocking sound, which is often attributable to a loose gearbox mount and can be easily tightened. Intermittent limiting to second gear, particularly in 6-litre models with the electronically controlled 4L80E, is frequently linked to electrical connection or corrosion problems. Whining noises from the transmission usually indicate low fluid levels or air being drawn into the pickup tube. Notably, switching to synthetic transmission fluid has been reported to cause whining in some cases. Chassis, suspension, and braking systems. The XJS chassis was fundamentally designed for grand touring, providing a solid ride, well isolated from the outside world, emphasizing comfort and stability over aggressive handling. Suspension. The front suspension features a twin wishbone design. Common issues include worn top inner bushes, which require replacement approximately every 50,000 miles. While described as a frustrating job due to access, it is generally not a complex DIY fix. The rear suspension is notably tricky to work on due to its integrated subframe with the differential. Other concerns include worn hub bearings, aging bushes, or leaking dampers, though well-maintained examples typically exhibit few problems in these areas. Rattling or jingling noises from the front often point to failed upper front shock bushings. Braking systems. The XJS braking system is famous for its stability and is considered unlikely to experience complete failure. Slow braking performance is typically a straightforward issue of worn-out brake pads or discs, which are generally easy to install. A significant improvement in later 6-liter models, from 1993, was the adoption of conventional outboard rear brakes, which greatly simplified maintenance compared to the earlier, more complex inboard rear brake setup. The 6-liter models are frequently regarded as the most refined and reliable iteration of the XJS V12. This assessment stems from a series of targeted engineering improvements implemented during their production. The adoption of the robust GM4L80E4 speed automatic transmission, which includes an overdrive gear, significantly enhances both fuel efficiency and high-speed cruising refinement. Furthermore, the transition to conventional outboard rear brakes on these later models substantially simplifies maintenance procedures, addressing a known complexity of earlier inboard brake designs. The introduction of galvanized body shells from 1991 onwards also markedly reduces the propensity for corrosion, a common concern with older vehicles. These cumulative improvements contribute to a more predictable and less problematic ownership experience, making the 6-liter XJS a particularly attractive option for those seeking a more resolved classic Grand Tourer. 4. Buyer's essential checklist for pre-purchase inspection. Acquiring a Jaguar XJS V12 necessitates a thorough pre-purchase inspection to assess its true condition and identify potential areas requiring attention. This checklist provides a comprehensive guide for prospective buyers. Documentation and service history. The presence of a full, documented service history is of paramount importance, often outweighing low mileage. This history provides critical insights into how the vehicle has been maintained throughout its life. It is important to look for evidence of system restoration rather than merely parts replacement. For instance, a cooling system overhaul that includes the radiator, water pump, thermostat, and all hoses indicates a proactive approach to maintenance, as opposed to isolated repairs that may suggest a reactive and potentially less thorough ownership history. Reviewing the maintenance schedule, including checks at 5,000, 15,000, and 30,000 mile intervals, can provide a clear picture of adherence to recommended servicing. Exterior inspection. A comprehensive exterior inspection is crucial for identifying structural integrity and past damage. Rust-prone areas, meticulously inspect for rust, particularly in common problem areas such as the lower section of the front wings, around the front and rear windscreens, the rear tail lights, wheel arches, sills, and doors. The floor pan should also be thoroughly checked, as extensive rot in this area can make a car uneconomical to repair. It is important to note that models from 1991 onwards benefited from galvanized body shells, which significantly reduced their susceptibility to corrosion. Panel alignment and paint condition. Check for consistent panel gaps, mismatched paint, or overspray, which could indicate previous accident repairs. Ensure the tires are in good condition with even wear. Interior inspection. The interior should be examined for both cosmetic condition and functionality of features. Water leaks. Inspect for signs of water ingress, such as damp carpets, especially around the center console and door panels. These leaks can originate from exterior mirrors or clogged AC drains and can lead to serious issues like corroded seatbelt mountings and damaged wiring. Functionality. Test all interior electronics, switches, and gauges to ensure they are working correctly. This includes the air conditioning and heater, radio, electric windows, lights, and wipers. Engine bay inspection. V12 specifics. The V12 engine bay is complex and requires detailed attention. Wiring. Inspect for brittle or cracked wiring insulation, particularly in high heat areas, as this can lead to intermittent shorts or disconnections. Check all ground points and flexible ground straps from the engine to the chassis. Cooling system. Look for any indications of past or present overheating, such as milky deposits in the oil or water in the spark plug holes. Brown coolant is a sign that the system has been neglected and requires immediate attention. A thorough inspection should include the radiator, water pump, thermostat, all hoses, and the heater core, as these components are prone to age-related failure. Ensure the engine fan operates correctly. Ignition system. Marelli specific. For models equipped with the Marelli ignition system, a critical inspection involves the distributor cap and rotor. Check for signs of arcing or burn through, especially on the bank conductor, which can lead to a dangerous one-bank ignition failure and fire risk. Verify if the preventative silicone sealant fix has been applied to the rotor. Confirm correct spark plug gaps, pre-He35 thou, He25 thou, and inspect ignition modules and the shielded wire to the AQ. Lucas Opus specific. For earlier Lucas Opus systems, check the distributor for a seized advance mechanism and the integrity of its internal seals. The ballast resistor should also be checked for signs of excessive heat, which can indicate unreliability. Fuel system: inspect all fuel lines for brittleness, cracks, or leaks, especially those located within the hot V of the engine. Ensure that high-pressure EFI hose and appropriate clamps have been used where necessary. The small fuel tank and filter located in the trunk should also be checked for cleanliness and blockages. Oil leaks: common areas for oil leaks include cam cover gaskets and the underside of the car. Timing chain: listen for any rattling noises at idle, which could indicate a worn timing chain. Ancillaries: check the condition and tension of all drive belts on the front of the engine, and ensure the viscous fan clutch provides appropriate resistance when rotated by hand. Underbody and driveline inspection: a visual inspection from underneath the vehicle can reveal significant issues. Rust: reiterate the importance of checking the floor pan, sills, and wheel arches for corrosion. Suspension: inspect for worn bushes, particularly the twin wishbone front suspension top inner bushes, and any signs of leaking dampers or excessive movement in hub bearings. Listen for clunking, squeaking, or rattling sounds, which can indicate worn ball joints, tie rods, sway bar links, or shock absorbers. Brakes: check the condition of brake pads and discs. Inspect for any fluid leaks or signs of the car pulling to one side under braking. Note whether the vehicle has the earlier inboard rear brakes or the more easily maintained outboard brakes, found on later 6-liter models. Gearbox: listen for a knocking sound, which might indicate a loose gearbox mount. During a test drive, listen for whining noises, which often point to low fluid levels or air being drawn into the pickup tube. Differential: pay attention to any unusual noises coming from the differential, especially under acceleration. Test drive evaluation: a comprehensive test drive is essential to evaluate the car's dynamic performance and identify any operational anomalies. Startup: observe how the car starts. It should be smooth and free of strange noises or hesitations. Engine noise: listen for any ticking sounds, which could suggest low oil level, pressure, ignition issues, or an exhaust leak. Rattling may indicate a timing chain issue. Whirring could point to belt-driven accessories or the water pump. Hissing, gurgling, or sizzling often signals cooling system leaks or overheating. Sputtering indicates incomplete combustion or misfires. A simple dollar bill test over the exhaust pipe can help detect misfires. Transmission performance: shifting should be smooth, without hesitation, jerks, or slipping between gears. Listen for any knocking or whining sounds from the gearbox. Steering and handling: the steering should feel easy and precise, with no excessive play in the wheel. The car should maintain a straight line without drifting and handle curves predictably. Listen for any clicking or scraping noises when turning, which might indicate issues with CV axles or steering column components. Braking: test the brakes at various speeds to ensure they are responsive and do not cause the car to pull to one side. Listen for any grinding or squealing sounds. Overall drivability: assess the car's overall power delivery, smoothness, and responsiveness across different speeds and driving conditions. 5. Ownership costs and maintenance considerations. Owning a Jaguar XJS V12 is a commitment that extends beyond the initial purchase price, requiring a clear understanding of ongoing maintenance and running costs. Typical maintenance schedule: adhering to a regular maintenance schedule is crucial for maximizing the longevity and reliability of an XJS V12. Jaguar's recommended service intervals typically include basic checks and oil changes every 5,000 miles. More comprehensive inspections and replacements, such as spark plugs and air filters, are recommended at 15,000-mile intervals. Major services, involving transmission fluid replacement, rear axle lube, and power steering fluid, are typically performed every 30,000 miles. Independent garages in the UK often offer interim services every 6,000 miles or 6 months, and full services every 12,000 miles or 12 months. Consistent maintenance is vital, as the V12 engine, while robust, relies heavily on regular fluid and filter changes to perform reliably over the long term. Common repair costs: UK estimates, the annual maintenance cost for a Jaguar XJS averages around $710, approximately £560 to £600, with overall annual repair costs averaging $1,123, approximately £880 to £950. However, these figures can vary significantly based on the car's age, mileage, location, and the chosen repair facility. It is prudent to budget approximately £1,000 per year for tinkering or unforeseen repairs. Specific repair costs can be substantial due to the complexity and access challenges of the V12 engine. Cooling system overhaul. A full cooling system restoration, including radiator, water pump, thermostat, hoses, and heater core, is often necessary. An aluminum radiator alone can cost over £1,000. A coolant flush and replacement typically ranges from £59 to £111, while fixing a coolant leak can cost £100 to £500. Labor for a water pump replacement can be 5 to 12 hours, with a full cooling system refurbishment potentially taking 16 hours or more due to extensive disassembly. Ignition system, Morelli, a rotor arm costs around £30 to £30.46, and an ignition lead set can range from £65 to £352. Morelli ignition modules are expensive, with genuine parts around £437 each, though reproduction units are available for about £115. A full tune-up kit for the V12 can be around £246. Fuel system, high-pressure fuel hoses can be expensive, with some components costing over £200. A Bosch fuel pump is approximately £178. Head gasket. A head gasket set for the 5.3-litre He 6-litre V12 costs between £129 and £159. Labour for head gasket replacement is extensive, potentially taking 16 to 24 man-hours for both heads. For a more modern Jaguar, head gasket labour can be 8+ hours. Timing chain. A timing chain tensioner assembly can cost around £274, while a timing chain itself is approximately £12 to £19. Labour for timing chain replacement is significant, with estimates ranging from a couple grand to about 40 hours or even $9,000, approximately £7,000, from a dealer. Suspension bushes. Front shock absorber bushes are relatively inexpensive, around £13 to £16. Replacing front suspension mounts can take a couple of hours, while control arm bushing replacement can be 1.4 to 2.2 hours per side. Wiring harness. Individual wiring harnesses, such as for the automatic gearbox, can be around £45. A V12 injector wiring harness can be significantly more, around £430. Fuel economy. The XJS V12 is notoriously thirsty, even by 1980s standards. Owners report mixed city, highway fuel economy ranging from 8 to 14 miles per gallon. On a good highway run, the HE models were claimed to achieve over 20 miles per gallon, with Department of Energy figures stating 27.1 miles per gallon at 56 miles per hour and 22.5 miles per gallon at 75 miles per hour, though urban cycle was 15.6 miles per gallon. Prospective owners must factor in substantial fuel costs. Insurance costs. Classic car insurance for an XJS V12 can be surprisingly affordable, especially with specialist insurers. Policies often offer benefits such as limited mileage discounts, free European cover, agreed valuation, and club member discounts. For a 40-year-old owner in Cambridgeshire with a garaged 5.3-litre auto and 3,000 annual miles, fully comprehensive quotes can be as low as £88 to £109 per year. Security features like dash cams and trackers can further reduce premiums. Parts availability and quality. Generally, spare parts for the XJS are abundant, and many routine items are reasonably priced, particularly when sourced from independent suppliers. Specialist suppliers such as Berkshire Jag Components and SC Parts offer a wide range of components, from engine parts to body panels. However, the quality of reproduction parts can vary, particularly for critical components like Morelli ignition system parts, where aftermarket rotors have been known to fail prematurely compared to genuine Morelli articles. This reinforces the importance of the system restoration approach, where quality components are preferred over cheaper, potentially unreliable alternatives. Specialist mechanics and owner communities. Given the complexity of the XJS V12, engaging with specialist mechanics is highly recommended. Expertise in these vehicles is concentrated in the UK, where specialists like Hilton and Moss and the Jag Workshop offer comprehensive servicing, repairs, and restorations. Hourly labour rates from specialists can range from £80 to £96 per hour, with some offering tiered discounts for more extensive work. Joining owner clubs, such as the Jaguar Enthusiasts Club, JEC, provides invaluable resources. These communities offer access to expert technical advice, forums for problem solving, discounted insurance packages, and a wealth of shared experience that can be crucial for XJS ownership. Online resources like the Kirby Palm Book are also highly regarded for the detailed technical information. Current market value, UK, XJS values have been rising, reflecting the growing appreciation as classics. Project cars can be found for £2,000 to £5,000, though these are often associated with stratospheric maintenance costs. Working examples typically range from £5,000 to £9,000, with post-1991 coupes and 5.3-litre convertibles fetching £12,000 to £15,000. The most desirable late 4 and 6-litre convertibles can command £15,000 to £17,000, with best-of-breed examples and special editions exceeding £20,000. The average price for a Jaguar XJS V12 is around £24,503, with historical median prices around £28,005. Highly modified or rare Lister XJS models can reach significantly higher values, sometimes over £80,000. 6. Conclusions and recommendations. The Jaguar XJS V12, a true Grand Tourer, offers a compelling blend of luxury, performance, and automotive history. Its journey from a controversial successor to the E-Type to a highly sought-after classic underscores its inherent engineering prowess and enduring appeal. For the discerning buyer, the XJS V12 represents a unique opportunity to acquire a sophisticated 12-cylinder machine that, despite its initial market challenges, is now gaining increasing recognition for its value. Prospective buyers are strongly advised to prioritize vehicles with a comprehensive, verifiable service history. The V12 engine's robustness can inadvertently mask years of deferred maintenance in ancillary systems, leading to significant accumulated repair needs. Therefore, a thorough pre-purchase inspection by a specialist is not merely recommended but essential. This inspection should meticulously examine common rust areas, interior water ingress, and critical engine bay components, particularly the wiring and cooling system. For models equipped with the Morelli ignition system, a specific check for the rotor arcing issue and the application of the silicone sealant fix is non-negotiable due to the associated fire risk. Budgeting for ownership must extend beyond the purchase approach to maintenance, focusing on system restoration rather than piecemeal parts replacement will prove more cost-effective and reliable in the long term, mitigating the high labor costs associated with complex repairs. While parts availability is generally good, careful consideration of aftermarket component quality is warranted. The later 6-litre XJS models, with their improved GM4L80E transmission, outboard rear brakes, and galvanized body shells, are generally considered the most resolved and offer a more predictable ownership experience. Regardless of the specific model year, engaging with specialist mechanics and active participation in owner communities are invaluable resources for maintaining these complex vehicles. Ultimately, owning a Jaguar XJS V12 is a rewarding experience for those prepared for the commitment. It is a vehicle that demands attention and care but repays its owner with an unparalleled blend of comfort, power, and classic British automotive charm.